The ratings are in for this week's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS. Details on the impending media rights deals for AEW with Warner Bros. Discovery as well as Fox. Also details on how the Bryan Danielson-Nigel McGinness match came together for AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. The opening match for SmackDown's return to USA Network tonight is now confirmed. Gunther, the World Heavyweight Champion from Raw, is also reportedly scheduled for the show. Roman Reigns is officially advertised for the Survivor Series PLE later on this year. An update on Daniel Garcia's AEW contractual status. Mercedes Moné reveals her honest thoughts about the extremely violent AEW All Out pay-per-view. TNA Victory Road is likely to become TNA's best-selling show of 2024. Josh Alexander says to Joe Henry that he should be the one representing TNA in NXT. And Ariana Grace tries to pinky promise Jordan Grace nothing bad will happen to her at TNA Victory Road. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of professional wrestling. Let's begin with the ratings for this Wednesday's edition of AEW Dynamite on TBS. Of course, it was the AEW All Out Fallout episode, and a wild and chaotic All Out pay-per-view got AEW fans around the world talking as Daniel Garcia nearly murdered MJF, Jon Moxley nearly murdered Bryan Danielson, and Swerve Strickland and Hangman Page nearly murdered each other in the main event of the show. After such an intense night, however, how would AEW Dynamite do in the ratings the following Wednesday night? According to WrestleNomics, the September 11th episode of Dynamite averaged a total of 716,000 viewers, an increase of 8% from the All Out Go Home show, which averaged 660,000 viewers. 716,000 viewers is also a small 4% increase on the trailing 4 weeks, which averages out at 690,000 viewers, the highest average Dynamite has earned since the special Blood and Guts episode back on July 24th. The key 18-49 demographic had an even bigger rise, jumping from a 0.19 on September 4th to a 0.21 on September 11th, an 11% increase. However, this is a slight drop when compared to the trailing 4 weeks, which average out to a 0.22. According to Programming Insider, a 0.21 puts Dynamite in second place for the night amongst all shows that aired on cable for Wednesday night, only being beaten by the MTV Video Music Awards, which earned a much higher 18-49 number of a 0.33, but only just topped AEW's average viewership with 728,000 viewers. When including network television, Dynamite ranks 7th overall for all primetime shows, which is an improvement on the previous week when Dynamite didn't crack the top 10. Now, when it comes to the quarter-hour ratings, these come courtesy of WrestleNomics, so shout out to them and be sure to subscribe to their Patreon service. As always, Dynamite's average overall rating was disproportionately skewed by a strong first quarter hour, as quarter hour 1 saw 888,000 viewers thanks to a strong lead-in from The Big Bang Theory. Viewership plummeted to 704,000 in quarter hour 2, however, a drop of more than 180,000 viewers. The key demo also dropped by almost 50,000 viewers from quarter hour 1 to quarter hour 2. Average viewership hovered around the 700,000 mark for the rest of the program, peaking at 720,000 viewers in quarter hour 5 when Jon Moxley was having his promo exchange with Darby Allin. Now, a bit of an update when it comes to these media rights deals that AEW's got going on right now. It seems that the finish line for the ongoing media rights negotiations between AEW and Warner Bros. Discovery is nearing, both as AEW and WBD are close to agreeing a deal, according to AEW President Tony Khan. Dave Meltzer recently claimed on Wrestling Observer Radio that a deal has already been agreed upon, but it has an interesting change regarding pay-per-views. He said, quote, "The WBD deal is a done deal, and there are going to be changes," Meltzer said. "From what I gathered, there is going to be a pay-per-view component in this deal. Exactly what it is, I don't know, but if they're doubling the number and WBD is getting the rights to pay-per-view, that makes doubling the number make more sense in a lot of ways if they get that. I don't know exactly if it's going to be how UFC does it, if it's going to be how WWE does it, but there is going to be a deal with Max, and with the pay-per-views in some forms is what it looks like, but the deal is done." Now, Meltzer also explained that the deal with Fox is not quite finished yet and that both sides are still working on getting that deal over the line. However, he stated that the fact that AEW has already trademarked Shockwave indicates that the deal is very close to being completed. Now, as to where Shockwave could air, Meltzer doesn't believe that it will be on the actual Fox network and that it will be on another station. Another recent report stated that the AEW locker room believes Shockwave will be a 1-hour show on FS1. Of course, we get any more details on that on any of the media rights deals, we'll let you know in an upcoming video. Now, of course, this week on AEW Dynamite, it was confirmed that we're going to be seeing this dream rematch between former Ring of Honor rivals Bryan Danielson and Nigel McGinness, and it's going to take place at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam at Arthur Ashe Stadium in New York. Now, following a triumphant return to in-ring competition at Wembley Stadium, Nigel McGinness is wasting little time addressing old rivalries, challenging AEW World Champion Bryan Danielson to a match at AEW Dynamite Grand Slam. According to the latest Wrestling Observer Radio, the match was not a part of some grand storytelling plan, instead falling into the promotion's proverbial lap. Quote, "From what I understand, the whole McGinness thing, this was not something long planned out. You always thought they were going to do the match before Danielson retires," Meltzer said. "I guess New York is a place they'll probably have a great match." Now, Danielson is only free to have the match because Darby Allin will put his shot at Danielson's title on the line against Moxley at the September 25th event. The winner will go on to face Danielson, presumably at Wrestle Dream, in Darby Allin and Bryan Danielson's home state of Washington. Quote, "Darby was at one point winning the world title, and he's from the area essentially. However, the money match is very much Moxley," Meltzer said. Moxley and the Blackpool Combat Club broke off from Danielson at All Out, and now they are claiming they are taking over the promotion as a whole. Prior to his return in the Casino Gauntlet match at All In, Nigel McGinness had not wrestled since 2011. The AEW broadcaster was one of Danielson's fiercest rivals during the 2000s, having famously brutal matches for the Ring of Honor World and Ring of Honor Pure Championships in the promotion's early years. Danielson is still recovering from the attack from the BCC, which saw him asphyxiated with a plastic bag at the hands of Moxley. Now, of course, tonight, WWE Friday Night SmackDown returns to the USA Network after finishing up on Fox. And this week, as I mentioned, SmackDown is set to return to the USA Network for the first time since 2019. And WWE Chief Content Officer Paul Levesque is kicking the show off with a major title match. According to Levesque, Friday SmackDown will open with undisputed WWE Champion Cody Rhodes defending his title in a steel cage match against Solo Sikoa. Now, many fans likely expected the announced World Championship match to main event the show. Levesque was tight-lipped about what could follow it. He said, quote, "For the rest of it, you'll just have to wait and see. See you then." Now, Rhodes is fresh off a defense against Kevin Owens at Bash in Berlin. The last match between Sikoa and Rhodes at SummerSlam featured numerous interferences, including Roman Reigns, who speared the new tribal chief to help Rhodes retain the title. Rhodes has been the champion since April when he defeated Roman Reigns on Night 2 of WrestleMania 40. Of course, SmackDown is moving to USA Network after 5 years on Fox. The move is the first in a game of musical chairs for WWE's media rights, as USA Network is gaining SmackDown just weeks before the network loses NXT to the CW on October 1st. USA will then lose WWE Monday Night Raw on January 6th, as the flagship program will debut on Netflix in 2025. Starting in October, Raw will be shortened to 2 hours until the Netflix debut, as WWE had to extend its deal with the USA Network to cover the gap between the expiration of the original deal and the start of the new Netflix deal in 2025. Now, it looks like Gunther is also set for tonight's episode of SmackDown, the return to USA Network 2. According to a report from PW Insider, World Heavyweight Champion and Monday Night Raw superstar Gunther is planned for an appearance in Seattle on tonight's episode of SmackDown. While the episode will mark the 2024 premiere on the USA Network, an appearance by Gunther has not been announced for the show. It is entirely possible that Gunther will just be on hand for a dark match, but it remains to be seen if perhaps the USA Network debut of SmackDown will see any surprise guests to mark the occasion. So we'll wait and see indeed if Gunther appears on the show. Now, Survivor Series is rapidly approaching, and tickets went on sale this week, and tickets have gone on sale to see Roman Reigns at the event. WWE has seemingly confirmed Roman Reigns will be included in a major upcoming show as tickets for the event went on sale. Yesterday, tickets for the upcoming premium live event, WWE Survivor Series, went on sale, and updated graphics for the event were released online. Fans immediately noticed that one big WWE star was front and center in the graphic. The Survivor Series page of WWE.com now prominently features Roman Reigns Reigns, suggesting that he will be back in the fray by the time the event rolls round and likely in a match on the show. Also featured on the poster are Cody Rhodes, Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, Rhea Ripley, Kevin Owens, and Solo Sikoa. Listed as being planned to appear at the event but not on the graphic are Drew McIntyre, Gunther, Jey Uso, and Liv Morgan, although the listings, as always, are subject to change. Survivor Series is set for November 30th in Vancouver, British Columbia, and has already been announced again to feature at least one War Games match. While not confirmed, many fans have long predicted Survivor Series to feature a Bloodline versus Bloodline War Games match, with Roman Reigns leading one team and Solo Sikoa leading another. Reigns was at one point advertised for tonight's premiere of SmackDown on the USA Network, but he was recently removed from the promotional material for that. Whether or not he appears or not, we'll have to wait and see. A bit of an update here when it comes to Daniel Garcia, his future with AEW. Now, while Daniel Garcia was featured into a big storyline angle at All In and then a match at All Out with MJF, it has been revealed he has yet to put pen to paper on a brand new AEW contract. Fightful Select has confirmed a previous Wrestle Purist report noting that Daniel Garcia was considered to win his match against MJF at All Out 2024. However, given that Garcia had yet to sign a new contract ahead of the show, the decision was made for MJF to pick up the win in Chicago instead. According to Fightful, Daniel Garcia has been offered a new deal from AEW, with the promotion hopeful he'd sign it before All Out, but it didn't happen. AEW does believe WWE is interested in Garcia, with a recent report from PW Insider stating his current AEW contract runs through October. Fightful notes that one top talent has been under the impression throughout the summer that Garcia would stay with AEW, but as things stand in mid-September, that's described as far from a guarantee. So as of right now, Daniel Garcia's future is still firmly up in the air. Now, there was a lot of reactions, wasn't there, to AEW All Out last weekend, particularly when it comes to some of the more hardcore and violent spots at the show. And AEW star Mercedes Moné has revealed her honest thoughts on the extremely violent events of AEW All Out 2024. In her Moné Mag newsletter, Mercedes Moné commented on the violence at All Out, including the Jon Moxley attack on Bryan Danielson. She wrote, quote, "I'm still in awe of how far this company has come and what it stands for. We really did blow the roof off the place. I know you think I'm being biased, but as a fan of wrestling, AEW pay-per-views have been amazing to watch. They will only improve as well, which is even more exciting. All Out was extremely violent, and honestly, Daniel Bryan stuff was tough to watch. I have mixed emotions. When done right, that kind of stuff can tear the roof off like Daniels did. However, I wouldn't want my brother, Joshua, to watch stuff like that, or kids for that matter. Let's face it, wrestling is multi-generational. When I do signings, I greet so many parents and their children. Growing up, I didn't have a father, so it especially warms my heart to meet families and hear how much their wrestling viewing experiences and memories mean to them. Then again, there is an audience that loves the extreme, and you want to cater to them too. When you see your favorite stars going to the extreme, you may want to blame the promotion. Honestly, though, it's the talent who will usually make the calls in the ring. While I credit talents who go to the extreme in terms of violence inflicted upon themselves for their passion and courage, I also want talent to have longevity and to graduate from this world healthily and able to function. Our bodies go through enough of all of the bumps, not to mention the travel and schedule. Personally, I'm at a place career-wise where I'd like to avoid extreme matches unless it's a true big value to add to the company." However, Moné would go on to share that the match she believes stole the show was Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale. She added, quote, "Okay, here I am talking out of both sides of my mouth. After sharing some strong thoughts on Extreme Wrestling, I'll state, hands down, Chris Statlander and Willow Nightingale street fight absolutely stole the show. It was one of the best women's matches of the year and one of the greatest women's street matches I've ever seen. I mean it. I wouldn't take my eyes off the monitor. Chris and Willow hooked me from go. Our women's division just keeps ascending." Of course, Moné also competed on the show. She retained her AEW TBS Championship at All Out in a match against Hikaru Shida. Now, tonight is TNA Victory Road, and it looks like it's going to be a very successful event for the promotion. The rebirth of TNA Wrestling has seen some ups and some downs. However, despite some bumps on the road, business continues to progress, with the upcoming Victory Road TNA Plus special on September 13 set to become the biggest selling show of the year for the promotion. A report from PW Insider claims that the upcoming show in San Antonio and subsequent TNA Impact television taping session on September 14th have limited tickets left on sale, title and is likely to become the best-selling show on US soil for the promotion in 2024. TNA's recent partnership with WWE NXT has been a boost for the brand, with TNA stars gaining great exposure when appearing on the Black and Gold brand, whilst NXT talents have crossed the line in the other direction to appear in the Impact Zone. Indeed, NXT star Wendy Chu is one of the names set to compete at Victory Road this evening, where she faces off against Jordynne Grace. Now, going to Impact last night, Josh Alexander and his feud with Joe Hendry continues to boil, and Josh Alexander has seemingly had it with Joe Hendry. Well, the highlight of their segment on the September 12th episode of TNA Impact, it may very well be the song from Hendry in which he calls Alexander a knockoff Kurt Angle. Alexander had much to say about his TNA Victory Road opponent. Josh Alexander expressed his frustration with Joe Hendry's selection to represent Impact in NXT, saying that he should be the one to be present on WWE's developmental brand. Instead, they have that one guy who can't back it up when the bell rings. Josh Alexander promised to defeat Joe Hendry at TNA Victory Road and show the world what a real professional wrestler looks like. And finally, Jordynne Grace is set to face off against Wendy Chu this evening, but could there be some negativity in her future? After being attacked by Wendy Chu on the September 10th episode of WWE NXT, Jordynne Grace looks set to defend her TNA Knockouts World Championship against NXT's resident sleep paralysis demon at TNA Victory Road. However, before Grace could return to her home state of Texas, she wanted to confront Ariana Grace, the self-proclaimed liaison between TNA and NXT, and she did so on the September 12th episode of TNA Impact. Jordynne Grace told Ariana Grace, no relation, that while there are plenty of NXT names that are welcome in TNA, Wendy Chu is no longer one of them. Ariana promised Jordynne she had nothing to do with those attacks and nothing bad would happen to her at TNA Victory Road. Ariana tried to further solidify the promise with a pinky promise, the most serious of all promises. Jordynne promptly rejected this and left Ariana to pinky promise herself. But there you go, guys. The latest pro wrestling news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.